Here is everything you're going to need to make your crafty boho earrings. Fingering weight yarn. This one is by Yarn on the Prairie, and it is in the color A Crafty Concept Pink. I will link this below for you guys in the description so you can get the exact same yarn because it's beautiful. A pair of jewelry making tweezer thingies here for opening up these tiny bits on your findings. An earring. This is a fishhook style earring. The earring loop. This part came from Michaels and I will link it below for you. A tiny tapestry needle that you can fit your tiny yarn through. A very sharp pair of scissors so you can cut your yarn, but also so you can trim your fringe at the end. And a tiny B 2.25 crochet hook. This one is Clover & More brand and I love it. This is what the finished earring will look like. I wanted to go ahead and show you really quick. I haven't trimmed it yet because I still haven't got some really nice scissors, but this is the basic idea of what it will look like. I'm going to be making the pattern using worsted weight yarn and a bigger crochet hook so you guys can actually see what's happening, but I will show snippets of this size being made too. You will need something to make your fringe on so it's all the same size. This is just the back of the earring package that came from Michaels, and I cut it and I wrap my yarn around this way, and then I use my scissors to snip it right here on this little lip that I created, and it makes perfect little fringe for the bottom. Another yarn that I found works super great with this pattern is wool-like yarn from Michaels, and it is a super fine yarn or fingering weight yarn as well, but I have noticed that some super fine weight yarns are different than other super fine weight yarns, even in the same brand of yarn. The linen is much thinner, well, it's actually called beige, is much thinner than the green. So I had to adjust the pattern slightly. The pattern that I'm going to be doing today is for the green, which is the same that I used here with the Crafty Concept Pink. This is hand dyed, by the way. It's very, very beautiful and I love it. But if you see, the linen one has one extra bobble in the middle. I'm going to put the notes on the blog post how to do this version, just in case you find yourself with some thinner fingering weight yarn. That way your finished earring doesn't turn out gappy. So there will be two options available for the pattern. This is the one we'll be doing in the video, but there will be notes for this guy if you need them. Okay, the pattern says to make a magic circle and single crochet 12 into the center. And I'm going to do that using my 5.5 millimeter hook and just some worsted weight yarn from Hobby Lobby and my handy unicorn yarn bowl over here helping me out. I will put a link for this guy in the description as well. So we're going to make a magic circle, insert our hook, grab our yarn, there we go, and then we're going to single crochet 12 right into the middle. So chain to secure, then single crochet 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You may notice that I grab my yarn under my hook, and you might grab your yarn over. For this pattern, it does not make a difference. 11, 12, and then we're going to pull it tight to close up that circle. Join into the top of the first single crochet, chain 1. Now you're going to turn your work, so flip it over so you're looking at the back. For row 2, it says to bubble stitch, single crochet, bubble stitch, single crochet, and do that all the way around, and we're going to end over here with a single crochet. So to do a bobble stitch, we're going to yarn over, insert our hook into the first stitch there, grab our yarn, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, that's 1. We're going to do that for a total of 4 times. Yarn over, insert, grab, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, that's 2. 2 more. 3, 4, then we're going to yarn over, pull through all the loops on our hook, and that completes our bobble stitch. And then we're going to go directly into the single crochet stitch. There's not going to be a chain or anything first. So pull through all for your bobble, then go right into the single crochet. And right here, when I get to this point, I like to give my tail a tug, and it tightens up this bobble and makes it pop out a little better. And then finish out the stitch with a single crochet. So we're going to do that all the way around for a total of 12 stitches, and you should have 6 bobble stitches after this. Also, my hole is starting to come undone. When I use my tapestry needle at the end, I'll be able to pull that closed. So it really doesn't matter what it's doing right now. Okay, we are back to the beginning. We're going to join in the top of our first stitch, which was a bobble stitch. Chain 1 and turn your work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bobbles. Perfect. I'm just going to tighten this up because it's aggravating me. Okay, now the pattern says to increase, single crochet increase in the first stitch, and then single crochet in the next stitch, increase, single crochet, increase all the way around for 18 stitches. So the first stitch was the single crochet, so that's going to be right here. And we're going to increase by putting 2 single crochets in the same stitch. So that's 1, 2. Then we're going to go to the top of the bobble stitch right here for another single crochet. 3. Then we're going to increase again. 4, 5. Single crochet in the next. 6. And we're going to do that all the way around for a total of 18 stitches, repeating the pattern, increase in the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch. We will end on a single crochet again. Okay, join into the top of the first single crochet, chain 1. Now we're just going to single crochet 1 in each stitch around for a total of 18 single crochets. Join into the top of the first single crochet, chain 1 and turn your work. And now we are going to bobble stitch, single crochet stitch all the way around for a total of 18 stitches. Yarn over, insert our hook, grab our yarn, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's our bobble stitch, and then we're going to go right into the single crochet without chaining or anything, just directly into it. Okay, we're going to join into the top of our first stitch, which was a bobble, chain 1, and turn our work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. Okay, now we are going to attach our work onto our earring, which in this case I'm going to be using this big ring that I have had in my miscellaneous craft supplies for probably 6 years. I took apart a Christmas door hanger. This went on a doorknob and it had like bells and stuff, and I took it apart and kept the rings. I'm a hoarder. Okay, so for the next row, which is the last row, we're going to single crochet in the next stitch, increase in the next stitch, single crochet, increase all the way around, and we are going to do this for a total of 27 stitches. Okay, so we're going to insert our hook like we're getting ready to place a single crochet, but instead of completing it, we're going to grab our earring and stick it also on the hook, and then put our working yarn around the earring, grab it with our hook, pull it through, and then finish the single crochet, and you are around your earring but also in the piece of the crochet body that you've been working on. So the next stitch, there's going to be a single crochet increase, so 2 single crochets. Go into the stitch and under the earring, grab your yarn, single crochet, that's 1, 2, then we're going to do another single crochet in the next stitch, then that's 4 total so far. Okay, when it starts to get a little tight, I just like to grab my work and kind of stretch it around the earring so it's not as bunched up and tight in one spot. Now if this was an actual earring and not a hoarded hoop, there would be the earring bit right here. See this little guy? So if that were here, if I was working around this guy right now, I would scooch my work over all the way up to this side of the earring clasp thingy. So if I was working on it, I would just keep scooting that way, so I'm working all the way up to this side. I hope that makes sense. Also, quick side note, these earring loops come apart for some reason. I haven't had any issues. I just keep it smushed in there and then crochet around it, and it doesn't come out because the ring keeps it so tight, the crocheted bit. Just a little side note. Okay, and now we are at the end, and let's pretend our earring thing is right there. Let's just give everybody some adjusting. If this was on a tiny dainty earring hoop, you wouldn't see all of the color in between. Now we're going to join into the top of the first single crochet, and I like to do this by pulling my yarn in front of the earring bit that sticks up. So imagine there's something sticking up right here. I pull my yarn in front of that thing and tie off, pulling it tight, and then snipping it with my super sharp scissors once I get them, but these will do until then. Now I will use my super tiny, in this case a regular sized tapestry needle, to sew in my tails. And as I sew in my tails, it will close up this circle a little better. Depending upon your yarn, some of the circles may not close up completely. It still looks okay in my opinion. It's just because there's so many stitches around. The tiny little stitches get thick when you smush them all next to each other like that. But if you just pull your tail under the magic circle stitches and tighten it as you go, you can get it to close pretty good. Also, when you're using the tiny tapestry needle, sometimes it's a little hard to grab a hold of. That's when these guys would come in handy. I would just grab a hold of it and then wiggle them through like that for the little bitty tapestry needle. Just a quick pro tip. Okay, and then I will sew in the other tail. And remember, our big metal thing is sticking up right here. Oh, sorry, our big metal thing is right there. So I just go in like right next to it. And just to get the tail in the back and give it a tug so those stitches will face the right direction. And then sew it in the rest of the way. Again, you may need your pliers here. Okay, and once you get your tail completely sewn in, you can attach your fish hook earring to the little hole on top of your earring base. So what I do is I take my tweezer things down here, these guys. This is so hard to show you because it's so tiny. Okay, I hope you can see. Now these, I just scoot this little ball down out of the way and take my tweezers or pliers and open this guy up just a little bit. See? Can you see that? Oh yeah, you can see that. And then I grab my hoop and stick it. So I'm going to hook it down into the front of the hoop. This is where the pretty side would be. So I stick that down right into that hole. Then I move that to the back. And then I take my pliers, pinch it closed again with this, like right there. And just close it back right around there. Can you see what I'm doing? There you go. Well, I need to do it a little bit tighter than that, so. Okay, I'm going to zoom in and see if that makes it any easier on me. Okay, got it dangling there so it's out of the way. Can you see? I'm so sorry. I promise I'm trying. And then just pinch it closed. That's better. The little ball keeps getting in my way. Okay, there you go. Pinch it closed. Scoot the little ball back down so it's over like where it was pinched closed. And then you're good, man. Good to go. That was harder than I expected it to be. Now we are going to make and attach our fringe down here at the bottom. So we're going to use our lovely template, and I'll just use this one even though they'll probably be way too small for this size circle, but it's okay. Probably going to frog it anyway. I don't know, I might use it, we'll see. So I put my end of my yarn that right there, like where that fold is, down in that little crease, and then I wrap it like this. hold it in the back with my fingers, take my scissors and just trim right along the top, like the top line right there. And then give this guy a little snip. Then you've got some fringe, and you just repeat until you have all the fringe that you need. Then I'm going to grab our earring and try to find the center from where this circle is, and try to find the center down here. Go in from the back, and then grab a piece of your fringe, fold it in half, put it on your hook, pull it through your stitch, and then grab it and pull it through your loop that you made and give it a tug. And that's your first piece of fringe. With the tiny yarn, I like to put 2 fringes in one stitch and then 1 fringe in the next stitch. So 2, 1, 2, 1. I think that gives it a nice... Actually, with this one I ended up adding a couple more because this pair is going to be for me, and I like lots of extra fringe. That's just the kind of gal that I am. You can do the fringe amount however you'd like. Something else that looks really cool on these earrings is if you use embroidery thread for the fringe in a separate, like a different color. So this doesn't look near as good as with the super fine weight yarn and a tiny little earring, but you can at least see what I'm doing and how to do it. Just imagine it super tiny. If I was going to finish this, I would probably do 2 per stitch, just because there's plenty of room for 2 there. But that's fine for demonstration purposes. Then after I get all of my fringe on there, I would take my super sharp scissors and trim them like in a circle, so they have that natural different sizes down. Well, it'll look like different sizes because some of them start up higher, so I would just trim it around in a circle till it looks really nice. This was what I was talking about when I said embroidery floss or embroidery thread, and I got these at Michael's for 59 cents a piece. You can use them instead of your yarn, and you get a really cool, like, glossy looking. And then I split all of these individual threads apart and got this really cool look that I love. I haven't trimmed these yet, still waiting on my good scissors. Also, I think a very thin tooth comb would do wonders for this fringe. I haven't done it yet because I don't have a thin tooth comb, but I will get one and I will just comb it. But I just wanted to share that little tip with you guys. Gives it a little bit of a different look with the embroidery thread versus the yarn that you use for the body of the earring. And that's everything you need to know to make your own crafty boho earring. I will show you guys some super cool pictures of me rocking these boho earrings so you can see what they look like on an actual human. I hope you guys enjoyed this pattern. I can't wait to see your boho earrings all over social media. Be sure to tag me at A Crafty Concept so I can see it and share it on my platforms. Also use the hashtag crafty boho earrings so other people can see your creations and drool over how beautiful they are. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm more than happy to answer them or help you if you're struggling. Instagram is the fastest way to message me, but email works too. Or even comment down below here on YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube. That is fine as well.